Here we are on a Friday night with some, pretty interesting things happening around this week. So today I want to give you guys who I think is the best quarterback in each division, both AFC and NFC. Then I want to talk about the preseason schedule getting bumped down from 4 games to 2 games. After that, I'll readdress the Cam Newton contract. And finally, some groundbreaking news on the Washington Redskins. So, are you ready to get your fix? So, like I said, I'd like to start with the discussion off by giving you who I believe is the best quarterback in each division for both the AFC and NFC. And I want to start with the AFC. So let's go to the AFC North, which consists of the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, and the Cincinnati Bengals. So this is an easy one, as I believe the best quarterback in the AFC North is Lamar Jackson of the Ravens. Coming off a 14-2 MVP season, this was a no-brainer. Lamar threw for 3,127 yards with 36 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. I mean, this guy was incredible last season, making defenders look silly and, shut up critics who said he was a running back. Lamar Jackson showed he can throw the ball just as well as he runs. This guy he's a reincarnated Michael Vick. Just enough said on that one. So moving to the AFC South, which consists of the Indianapolis Colts, Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tennessee Titans. So for this one, I got Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans as the best quarterback in this division. Last year, Watson led the Texans to a playoff berth that ended rather quickly after beating the Buffalo Bills in overtime in the wild card game and then losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round. Anyways, Watson, he threw for 3,852 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. He pretty much does it all for this offense. Now with no DeAndre Hopkins to help this season, he has an even bigger test, okay? But, I feel like he's gonna succeed. So now let's move to the AFC East, which consists of the Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, New York Jets, and the Miami Dolphins. So for this division, I got Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills as the best quarterback. Allen had a rough rookie year, but, last season he was able to lead the Bills to a playoff berth and lost the Houston Texans in the overtime in that wild card game. However, though, Josh Allen got Stephon Diggs this offseason, which, should boost Allen's stats even more. Last season, Josh threw for 3,089 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Like I said, though, with Diggs on this team now, I feel like Allen could easily throw for 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, and I got the Bills winning their division as of now at 12-4, which, that could also change, but we'll see where that goes. Well, let's get to the last division of the AFC, which is the AFC West, which consists of the Kansas City Chiefs, Las Vegas Raiders, Denver Broncos, and Los Angeles Chargers. This is a no-brainer again, okay? Patrick Mahomes. He's the best quarterback in that division. Mahomes won MVP his second year in the league. Could have won it last year if it weren't for a remarkable season by Lamar Jackson, showcasing his unbelievable skills. Mahomes threw 4,031 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Those are really good stats for any quarterback, and he made no mistakes, really at all. This man took the Chiefs all the way to the Super Bowl and took that trophy home with him. Patrick Mahomes can flat out ball, and I see no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Mahomes and Jackson, they're the new faces of the NFL. So like I said, best quarterback right there. Probably out of the AFC, if I'd have to give a best quarterback throughout the whole AFC, I'd have to give it to Mahomes just because he can throw the ball unbelievably well. He can throw it at different angles, no look, behind whatever he wants to do. He's probably the best quarterback in that division. So now let's get to the NFC, in which I will start with the NFC North, which consists of the Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, and the Detroit Lions. Well, for this division, I believe the best quarterback is Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers, okay? This man has a Super Bowl ring, could easily have 2 or 3, but he's super consistent, and, if it weren't for him, the Packers wouldn't be consistently good or consistently in the playoffs as often. Rodgers last season led the Packers to a 13-3 season, which could have easily turned to 9-7 if he hadn't thrown the ball away as much as he did. But in back-to-back seasons, he threw for 4,442 yards, 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Then last year, 4,002 yards with 26 and 4. He never makes mistakes, okay? And he gives Green Bay a fighting chance every single week he's out in that field. Even when they had a disastrous defense not too long ago, he still kept them in ball games. They didn't do that well, but he was still that man. He still kept them in there somehow. And that's all I got to say on Aaron Rodgers. He's the best quarterback in the NFC North, arguably one of the better quarterbacks that we've ever seen in the NFL. So that's it on him. Now let's go to the NFC South, which consists of New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, and the Atlanta Falcons. So for this division, it's a toss-up, man. I got Tom Brady, though, as the best quarterback. Yes, I put Brady over Breeze for the simple fact that Breeze has one main receiver that he throws the ball to, Michael Thomas, where Brady now has Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Gronk. I mean, I could keep going on his weapons. It's nuts. I mean, this is something Brady hasn't experienced before in his career, where he actually has weapons. Yeah, he had, in New England, he had Gronk and a brief stint with Randy Moss. But he hasn't had a stacked, weaponized offense that, for the most part, are going to be there the whole season and probably stay healthy. He also is, finally able to be himself and have fun compared to when he was in New England. It was, everything was like being in the military and you did the same exact thing every day and the plan was always the same. And if you did it wrong, you're going to get chewed out. Okay, Bill's not going to have it. I mean, this is Tom Brady's time to really shine. And with the weapons he has, that is why I rank him over Drew Brees. Next up, we got the NFC East, which consists of the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Redskins, and the New York Giants. For this division, the best quarterback in my eyes, Carson Wentz. He's better than Dak. I mean, the past 3 seasons, Carson Wentz has only had 7 interceptions each year. He had 31, 21, and then 27 touchdowns. Sorry, 33 touchdowns the first year. I mean, he never makes mistakes, and he has a bunch of lawn chairs to throw the ball to. I mean, last season was a mess for the Eagles. Granted, they still won their division at 9-7, but their defense was hit and miss, as well as their receivers just not being able to catch the ball, like Nelson Aguilar, who really kind of couldn't do it. He couldn't play receiver at all. I mean, he was like throwing to a brick wall. He couldn't do anything, and Carson had to throw to that. I mean, Carson has been very solid in his career up to this point. I mean, do people forget that this man would have and should have won MVP in the 2017 season? But then he suffered that ACL tear where, I believe, where Nick Foles took over and led them to the Super Bowl victory over the New England Patriots. So if you don't know, due to that Super Bowl victory, Carson Wentz, he has to walk by a Nick Foles statue every time he goes to play. If it were me having to walk by my backup who won the Super Bowl, after I got them there, after I, was the show, and it would sure light a fire inside me to where I would want to perform at the highest level possible. I think that's exactly what Carson Wentz thinks, passing that every day. This man has no signs of slowing down at this moment. His injuries kind of are a little bit slowing him down, but that could also start to, go away where he won't get injured as much, but only time will tell. If the Eagles get him better weapons, though, in which they drafted a wide receiver, Jalen Reagor, from TCU, who's a fairly consistent at the college level. I think Wentz and the Eagles, they'll be just fine this season. Even though I got them going 8-8, I feel like it's very possible that they could turn that around and win more games. So finally, for my last division, which is the NFC West, which consists of the Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals, and Los Angeles Rams. This is a no-brainer as well, as I got Russell Wilson as the best quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, he's always in the playoffs. I believe he's only missed the playoffs 1 season out of his 8 seasons he's played, which is ridiculous. I believe he's in second place for the best for career quarterback rating. I think he's behind Aaron Rodgers, where I was hearing where if he would have missed 1 pass, like if Aaron Rodgers would have had an incomplete pass and Russell Wilson would have had a complete pass, they would have been tied for the best career quarterback rating. Russell, he never gets hurt, like ever, okay? And he's so evenly talented as he can run really well if need be. And in my eyes, he's probably the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. I mean, have you seen some of those like windows he fits the ball into? He finds a way somehow to fit the ball in the tiniest places. And he can throw on the run exceptionally well. I mean, if I were to create the perfect quarterback, Russell Wilson would be someone I look at because he's built, okay? He can run, he can pass, he never throws interceptions, he always makes the playoffs, and I don't think I can remember a time where when Russell Wilson was playing any team that I said, he's not going to win this one, because he always puts up a fight. He has all the perfect traits, and to do what he's done for this long and never get hurt is just ridiculous, and this man deserves an MVP trophy. And this could very well be the year, and it wouldn't really shock me if this was his year to do so. Well, let's go switch gears to the preseason, which about 2 weeks ago I talked about how the NFL was considering shortening the preseason. Well, yesterday it came out that that will in fact be the case, as the preseason will be shortened from 4 games to only 2 games. I'm not really sure how I feel about this, being that so many rookies' careers are now in jeopardy. I'm really hoping that NFL allows teams to have a bigger roster number so that those rookies who were drafted or undrafted can at least get a chance to perform, whether that be getting placed on the practice squad and waiting till next season to play, or really just anything. Get them something, because these guys have worked their entire lives to make this dream come true of becoming an NFL player. I mean, really, the only good I see coming out of this is that players are really gonna have to battle now for their teammates, or battle against their teammates for jobs on the roster, which can make them perform better. So you could have a rookie come out like out of nowhere and be like, "Oh shoot, I only got 2 weeks of actual playing to lock in a spot on this roster," and now he's gonna, battle that much harder and become that much better. I feel. I mean, this is gonna be a very interesting season with the lack of practice, the short preseason. So now let's just hope they don't shorten the regular season, because I want football really bad. I bet a lot of people around the world do at this moment. It's something we need, and if anything else gets shortened, or whatever is the case, it's not going to be the same, but it will be different. So we'll see how that plays out. So Monday, I touched on Cam Newton actually signing with the New England Patriots. So this was a $7.5 million contract that's all based on incentives, and I said that I was really kind of unsure on the breakdown of the contract. However, though, yesterday it came out that Cam Newton's contract has a base salary of $1,050,000 with only $550,000 guaranteed. That means about $6.5 million is the amount of money he can earn in incentives. This contract is ridiculously low, but I think it gives Cam a second chance. He's literally making nothing and will be able to, go out and ball for those incentives, which if he succeeds, the Patriots can either keep him around longer and sign him for more money, or he now has the option to listen to other teams and see, hey, are you guys willing to look at me, give me a bigger contract so I can actually play in the NFL? I mean, kudos to Cam, though, for taking such a small contract so he can continue to play the game he loves and gives him the opportunity to make more money in the future. I mean, if he has to have a clean slate, he has to do it, and that's what he did. And like he said on Instagram, it's not about the money, it's about playing. And that's what I like in a player, and that's what it should be. Money isn't everything. It's mainly what you love to do. Just go do it. Money shouldn't be a factor. But I mean, if you're making millions of dollars and you're consistently making millions of dollars, yeah, obviously you're going to want that. But that's how I look at it. Well, time to get to the Washington Redskins. Okay, the time has finally arrived where the Redskins' name is officially under review. This has been a long overdue as their team name. It's degrading and just flat out disrespectful, okay? I understand the history behind this team, but it's time for a change, especially in a time we are today with Black Lives Matter and pretty much all lives, pretty much. Everybody's kind of nitpicking at each other. This is a perfect time for these Redskins name, and even other sports like baseball, Cleveland Indians, stuff like that. I think it's just really sad, though, that in order for them to even consider changing the name, because they brought it up a couple years ago, they needed a murder, okay, of George Floyd. They needed this murder of George Floyd to even consider changing. That's really sad. It's wrong. Your name's wrong, but you haven't done anything about it. Now all of a sudden, because one big event happened, and it caused a worldwide, nationwide, ruckus. Now you want to change your name. Now you want to review it because you don't think, oh, well, maybe it is bad. I mean, come on now. I mean, it should have happened a while ago. It's been 87 years since they changed names. They were the Brooklyn Braves, and then they changed to Washington Redskins. So they've always had that Native American name. So you see a pattern there? I mean, Brooklyn Braves, Washington Redskins. What's next? I mean, you got to think of something. You got to change your name. It's time. Do it. I don't think though that this is the perfect timing. Or I do think this is the perfect timing though, as now they have a minority head coach in Ron Rivera. And, this to me is going to be very exciting, as we could very well see a whole new branding, a whole new different team, a whole new uniform. It could be really exciting. You could see something totally unexpected. This is what we need. It's time for change. Okay? When you're watching, the NFL, well, you got Philadelphia. You got the Philadelphia Eagles versus Washington Redskins, okay? Well, now you got the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe the Washington Defenders or something like that. It's different. It's something that where you've been watching for 10 plus years and the teams have never changed, never moved anywhere, and now all of a sudden you got this one different team that stands out. I'd be curious to see it. I'd love to watch it. Just the whole rebranding could revamp the whole team. Who knows? But yeah, this is long overdue. They need to review it and they need to change it. I've been hearing around reports around the league that they actually might change this before training camp, before the players report to training camp, which is in about 3 weeks, give or take. So, but the work, I don't think it's going to happen this season. It's just too quick. You got to think about it. They got to change the uniform. They got to change the logo. They got to change their field. They got to change history. They got to change culture. They got to change literally everything. Slogans, chants, songs. It probably won't happen this year. It will, in fact. Okay, so they will go in. They'll change their name. Okay, they'll already have all that done this season. Okay, they'll have it before training camp, I guarantee you. But we won't see the rebranding until next season. It's just too much to do. Too much to repaint the field or redo the field, redo all that. It's just, in that small amount of time, you have literally a month. I think, a month till football, little over a month. If you can do it, go for it. But I don't think they have enough time. But, I'm really excited. I got to see these Redskins change to something. I thought about the XFL earlier, and that's why I said Washington Defenders, because they'd maybe adopt that name and, make it look kind of cool. So that is going to end our discussion today. I talked about, I gave you my best quarterback in every division, AFC and NFC. I talked about the preseason getting shortened and Cam Newton's contract layout, as well as the Washington Redskins reviewing their team name. So like I said, that's going to end it today. Thanks for stopping by, and you just got your fix with the Wicks.